Hello and welcome in. This is The Word and the Wild. It's a one-year Bible adventure with friends. My name's Owen. I'm your host and your guide. And together we are a podcast plus community on a 12-month journey where we read the Bible for ourselves, but not by ourselves. Why, you ask? Well, we're here for the fun, to explore and to learn and to discover insights and inspiration from the Bible. And it's always more rewarding, doable, and fun when you roll with some friends. Today, we are just about ready to hit the trail on this one-year Bible adventure. And as we get set to go, I just want to offer up a few tips and tricks to help us all get the most out of our adventure together. Now, the first thing you can do is just simple. Join the fun and subscribe. Hit subscribe to this podcast right here on your favorite platform. And then go ahead and become a Word and the Wild Plus member. That's where you get access to our private, safe, and lively online community where you can interact and find bonus content like our weekly live stream video Q&A. Get all the details over at wordandthewild.com. So as we get set to go, I think it's important to answer the why question. Why are we doing this and what are we doing? So first, the why. All this started, almost exactly 4 years ago with a woman who came up to me, grabbed me by the arm and said, "Help." See, she and a few friends were trying to read the Bible together in a year. And they were a couple of weeks into the process and they were stuck. The Bible was hard for them to understand. It was hard for them to get their footing. And so they reached out through this lady and just said, "Hey, we're getting stuck. Can you help us?" And I'll be honest, I was a little bit, dubious because people get this inspiration all the time, right? The certain time of the year hits. Maybe it's January or, spring or summer, sometime in the calendar, the urge hits to go ahead and read the Bible in a year. And like most of these, resolutions that we have, you stick with it for, maybe a month, maybe two, maybe if you're really strong and brave, you get to month number 3, but at some point you just kind of throw in the towel. And so I kind of figured that's what would happen in this particular case. And so I decided just to be upfront and throw out a couple of ground rules and say, look, I'm happy to help you out. I'm happy to walk with you through the Bible this year, but we're going to do things a little differently than your typical, reading plan. For the first thing, I just said, look, no guilt, no shame. If you stop reading, it's over. Don't feel guilted into it. This has to be something you really want to do. And more importantly, even than that, it's something you enjoy doing and get something out of. Otherwise, what's the point? Right? So that was one of the rules. The second one was simply this. I'm not going to teach lessons. There's not going to be any devos or study guides. It's just going to be simply getting together once a week, and you bring your questions and your thoughts and your observations, and together we're going to get through it. So that's how we began. I figured we'd be at, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. But we finished the year together, and then the next year there were more groups, and the following year even more groups, these community Bible reading groups popping up around town, and just an assortment of people coming at the Bible for different reasons with different perspectives, but all united by this desire to read it for themselves, to understand it, and to get something out of it. So that had prompted me here at the start of our journey to just widen that circle of friends and invite more people in. So that's where the Word and the Wild podcast and community kind of came to be. It's this idea that I'm just having so much fun interacting with people about the Bible, discussing what's inside of it, all that brings out to the table, talking about life, talking about belief and faith and their journeys, all that inside of just a low-key, community-driven conversation. So that is Word and the Wild. That's the why behind what we're doing. So I love that you're interested in joining in our circle of friends. So as we get prepared as a crew, as a trail group, or whatever you want to call it, we get ready for this 12-month-long adventure reading the Bible for ourselves. We got to set things up by talking a little bit about what we're doing, okay? So here it is. Simply, we are doing a chronological daily reading of the Bible, including interactive conversation. That's it. Okay, so let me unpack. Chronological. That just means we will watch the Bible unfold in story order. We're still reading every bit of the Bible in the next 12 months. But instead of doing the Genesis, Exodus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, etc., the book-by-book traditional format, we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to walk through it in the order the story happens. So we're going to follow the timeline of events. In other words, we're going chronological. All right, so that's one thing. We're doing daily reading for yourself. That's another key to this adventure. While there are a number of approaches to reading the Bible in a year, a lot of these one-year Bible reading plans, they take the format of, it's like a lessons, recaps, devos, sermons, Bible studies. There's a lot of content that they generate. And those are all okay, but a side effect of all that is they can take you away from actually just reading the Bible for yourself, and instead you find yourself just listening to somebody else talk about it, read it, think about it, and sharing their ideas. Nothing wrong with that at all, but we're on a different path. Word and the Wild is all about staying synced up together and following a daily reading plan. The plan we're going to use, it comes from the 1-year chronological Bible, New Living Translation. That's a nice one. I like it. It's very readable. Every day is divided up into just a nice section of reading. 15, 20 minutes, you're in business. So the best thing you can do, stay synced up with us, is get your hands on a copy of that New Living Translation 1-year chronological Bible. And I know it's old school, but I'm going to say get your hands on a physical copy. Get the print. There is a Kindle version, and there is even an audio version, but you can do that if you want. I'm going to say do yourself a favor. Get the paper copy. Keeps you distraction-free when you read. It's effortless to keep up with us. And, when we refer to a section or a verse or a page number, you're going to stay, once again, just in sync with us. So I'm going to drop a link to the Bible you want in the show notes, okay? So chronological, daily reading for yourself, and finally, interactive conversation. So my heart behind all of this with the Word and the Wild is to make sure you don't get stuck. That means you need to have a place to ask questions. Also means you need a place to share the joy of just discovery with some friends. When you find a nugget, gain an insight, something hits you, you want to be able to share it. So that's why Word and the Wild is set up as a podcast plus community. The community part is every bit as much a part as the podcast part. Confused. Okay, so here's how you connect with the community aspect of Word in the Wild. First of all, follow on social. We're at thewild.us on Insta. You can also look for the Word in the Wild group on Facebook and join that, because there'll be some interaction happening there as we roll. And then the other thing, again, do yourself a favor, consider chipping in a few bucks to become a Word in the Wild Plus member. where you have full access to yours truly. Some pastor friends of mine will come through from time to time. And like I said, there's that weekly live stream Q&A that is entirely driven by questions and thoughts from the community. So if you want to get the most out of it, stay interactive with us. Consider those ways to jump in. All right. So that is all you need to know to get set up. Those are the mechanics of it. Okay. It's simple, right? So step one, simply subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you're with us every week. I'll be setting up each week's reading here just to help you get into it, see what's coming up ahead, have a little inspiration, and then check out wordinthewild.com for more information on how to join our community. Get your copy of the Bible we are using and get set to go. Lace up those hiking boots. Adventure awaits. Word and the Wild is a Linehouse community as part of the Linehouse Community Network. It's a nonprofit organization with a mission to bring neighbors together and to promote awareness, appreciation, and understanding of the Bible to change lives and change cities. It's presented by the Lumavaz Podcast Network. Thanks to those guys. And until next time, I'm Owen, your host and guy. See you on the trail and in the wild.